see her level damage. So again.
Man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Like, oh wait, this could be a lot of damage right here. Oh, never mind. I take it back. It's another quick. Wow. Vortex kick. Vortex kick. Bart's
And
down.
killing that Bart.
Oh, wow, that's game.
Alright everyone, and welcome back to Wbel Season 2. So this is the week 7 of the blind division, and as usual I'm with Chisei.
Hey there.
Alright, so let's jump into the standings. Right now I'm still in first place with 7 points, so I only have one more kill than Weakestness, who has 6 points for the second place. After that we got Chisei, Maechen and Sushi all with 4 points, and then we got RNJ for the last playoff spot with only 2 kills above of Chisei. There's not many players that have cashed their extra point yet, so let's see if they decided to use all their roster this week. Alright, so let's jump into the next match. The first match. Alright, so fight number 1, we got myself, numero 80 against Sushi. So on my side we got Zazan, Shuzelt, and Astrius. On Sushi's side we got Shuzelt, A2, and Vadim. So this is about the same team on both sides. So Chisei, what can we expect?
I mean, just like you said, we have the same team on both sides, so a lot of it's going to come down to initial positioning and, like it's the A2 versus the Astrius. So both of them very, very strong units, but the A2 we've seen do incredible work. So I'm very interested in seeing how these two are going to be able to square off. But with the initial positioning, I can see that you're able to get both buffs off. This has a revival on both sides. I don't know if
mine is slower.
Goodness. Yeah, yours is a little slower, which means that his shut cells or her shut cells gonna be able to hit first. The Zazan going to be able to get his ice resist buff off, which is going to be good against the A2. But the main thing I'm looking at is going to see if that shut cell is going to be able to stop your shut cell. So
yeah,
that could be very, very devastating if that happens. A2 is in range to be able to hit the Zazan, but only the Zazan with limit burst. So that's very big. That it's not going to be able to hit the Astrius. Let's see how much damage this gets to do. Not a lot, but does hit the Immobilize.
Alright, so we had first blood, and now it's Shuzelt is fastest, but there's no stop, but nearly killing my Shuzelt. So I have pressure as our back, no stop, but mine is HP decreased so much that he procced his own heal back himself. So we had a charm coming from Vadim on my Zazan. So next we got Astrius going forward, so as our break, able to kill that Vadim in one go. So next we got A2, so she's going Renman. Alright, so she's going to heal Shuzelt. Not a lot of damage on my Astrius, but a ton on that Zazan. So next we got the Shuzelt as our break, killing my Zazan. So there's only my very low health Astrius in the middle of the map. Alright, so Shuzelt attack both A2 with very low damage, but a ton on Shuzelt, but he proc his heal back. Next we got Astrius, so he is LB, but he's only aiming at the Shuzelt, so probably because he had enough damage to kill him. So follow up, alright, so Shuzelt is done, so one threat less on the way. A2, she only has 17 AP on that moment though, so Destructive Spiral, nearly killing my Shuzelt, so he's still in LFT. And we have a Doom and Disable coming from my Shuzelt on that A2. But next attack, Swallow Slash, just able to kill that A2. She procs her re-raise, so now no Doom and no Disable, and she's going next, but she has no AP, so she's going basic attack on my Shuzelt, not able to kill him. She laps everyone, and she's going again, nearly enough to kill my Shuzelt, but he has his courage, and we have a perfect evade, so Shuzelt has only 1 AP, he still has 1 AP. Next we got Astrius, only 27, Paralyzing Edge, and just enough to kill A2.
I got very scared at the end there with the reflex. I was like, please, like if she reflexed both and came back with a kill on both units. I did see that she removed the courage from the Astrius, so that could have been very, very devastating if she did reflex the Astrius as well and was able to be able to get one more hit off, because I think she would have been able to kill you there. That being said, the match went very well for both sides. The stop not landing on any of the units from the shed cells was very impressive. So I think both sides were prepared for that. Probably stop stones on all their units, I would imagine. And the charm not really coming to bite you on the Zazan was also very nice. The match, the way that it played out, the A2 was able to do a lot of damage, but wasn't able to really take out any of your units. So that was very well prepared on your side, I would say, in terms of the resistances, because we've seen A2 be able to deal a ton of damage. But against your team, it seemed like she was pretty neutered.
Yeah, I think that the Reinforced TMR really was indeed this fight, because it gave me additional 25 ice resistance. I will really give the key of the match to that Zazan. He was able to swallow this the LB from A2 right from the bat, and he tanked it pretty well also. So he had just enough HP to be able to remove some AP on her side. In the end, it ended up being the key factor, because A2, I mean, she had at least 3 turns to be able to kill my whole team, but just because she didn't add enough AP, she couldn't. Otherwise, I was totally toasted, because I really didn't like that she had the same idea as me and to post a lone Shulzol at the top, but hers was faster. She had the upper edge because of that on the top, but in the end, because Astris was able to come to his help, I was able to be the victor in the end.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a completely crazy match. I was really stressed out looking at my screen, seeing how it developed, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no, it was a close match all the way until the end. Like I said, if that one more reflex would have happened on the Astrius, it would have been, I think, curtains for you. So it was, I do think that you were in a good position for most of that fight, but one more reflex, that would have changed the whole thing.
Yeah, I must give a shout out to Sushi. Sushi, at first, I met her when I was playing against her in a Friday night fight, and every time I played against her, she kicked my ass. And we had the time to chat a couple of times. I thought that she was really friendly, so I decided to invite her to the league. And at first, she was hesitant because she is only playing in this game since like a little bit more than 1 year, and on her side, she thought that she didn't have the roster or the VCs to be able to compete with the rest of the crew, but I reassured her and just pushed her a little bit, and I was right, because so far she's doing very well. She already has 4 points, so yeah, even if I'm nearly a day 1 player, I mean, I nearly lost that match. At least for first time I was able to get out the victor.
So GG's to both players, and congrats to you, Nimro.
Thank you. Alright, so next match we got Maou against Maechen. So on Mao's side we got Mia, Little Lila, and Isolate. On Maechen's side we got Winter Victoria, Zazan, and you are Zazan. So Chisei, what can we expect?
All right, so looking at Mao's side, we see the Little Lila. So I think he was expecting a magic threat coming out from Maechen, but no magic. So this is an all-physical team coming out from Maechen's side, pretty much neutering a lot of what Little Lila is going to be able to bring, being a magic tank and bringing the silence there. So that's definitely a smart move from Maechen's side. But I will say from Maechen's side, he has the UR Zazan, which as his main carry, Winter Victoria can definitely put in some damage, but I think a lot of this match is going to be based off that UR Zazan. So his survivability is going to be very dependent on how much he can evade, and if he can get out of his re-raise and his courage buff. I see the ice resist buff coming off from the regular Zazan, so that's going to help tank some of the damage against the Howlet. And there comes his re-raise buff. The CT up after re-raise unfortunately will not help him on this real set, but the re-raise coming out from the Lil Lila, I think she only moved 2 spaces, so I think she's wearing the bow tie, which is a little interesting to have the tank kind of lag behind a little bit, but yeah, she is off to the side and the units are kind of moving that way, so I can definitely see where Mao's thinking if that is the case. Yarzazan moving forward did not have another buff and not able to reach the Lila. The Claim the Flag came out once again. Strike, resist, but not going to help in this matchup. Probably did not mean to have that online, or yeah, because I'm not sure if there's any strike units on Maechen's roster. Regular Zazan coming up and able to hit the Mia, so do a little bit of damage there. Now the Winter Victoria is going to be in range to be able to hit someone, probably the Lil Lila. Yep.
All right, so we got accuracy down with the blind that's coming, but on the wrong target because she already has a guaranteed hit move. I'm disappointed that Zazan didn't use his LB because he doesn't have guaranteed hit nullify, and he's going for the kill, so he won't have it. Oh, but she had re-raise. Next is going to be Owlet. Is he in range? I don't think so. Oh, yes, he is. And directly under your Zazan. That might be really big. And he can remove buff, so he won't have any... he won't have any evase. Oh, alright. Okay, he has re-raise. But that's the thing. The first thing that Victoria did was increase his evasion. But then it was pulled off because of Howlett and his LB. And Little Lila was able to finish a job on your Zazan. And now we got the Zazan that is charmed by the Mia. It is a Winter Victoria against the world. And unfortunately, I don't think that she'll be able to pull it off.
It'll definitely be a hard hill to climb against the Howlett, especially with seeing how much damage that attack did, only 1700. And a Charm Zazan, so it's still 3v1 right now. It's definitely going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Ah, that's just cruel.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. At least he was able to pick up a kill on that little Leela for the point, but yeah, the charm was very, very rough at the end there as well.
Honestly, I will give one key by the fact that Zazan, the regular one, instead of going forward and be able to soak hits and disturb the enemy team, instead he buffed and stayed backward, and the UR Zazan got out in front. Also the fact that he didn't have the chance to use his guaranteed hit nullify, but I think that it would have mattered in the end because that all that was obviously very accurate, and also the fact that he can remove buff before the hits. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that the matchup was just too unfavorable to him.
Yeah, I think similar to what you had mentioned, I think the two main things that had really shifted the match over in Mao's favor, I would say was probably UR Zazan not being able to get his courage buff online, and also not being able to use his guaranteed hit null. Those two buffs, I think by themselves could have swapped the match over to Maechen's favor pretty favorably. But with both of those being offline, Lilila was able to hit with her guaranteed hit, which was able to finish him off. It looks like the courage buff might have been turned off, unfortunately, and it looks like he wasn't in range to be able to use his limit burst. So a lot of unfortunate things that happened with the UR Zazan. You know, like I said, that's not to take away from Mao's preparation, the buff rotation, and having the little Leela over there with the bow tie and staying back was able to draw his units in a little further. If she didn't have that bow tie, that UR Zazan probably would have been in range to be able to use his limit burst. So I don't know if that was calculated out, but it worked out where she was probably 1 or 2 squares away, but probably just 1 square away from being able to be hit with a limit burst. So the bow tie came in really clutch there. I guess I would give the key of the match to the bow tie.
Yeah, there's a way to prevent Zazan from using his LB, as I explained in my match against him. I will agree with you. I don't think that this match was helpless because that little Lila, she got killed really fast. She wasn't that bulky.
Yeah, that's a good point. We only saw the Winter Victoria, which only did 1700. We didn't get to see how much damage the UR Zazan could do on the Howlet, so that would have definitely told a different story. Even if he got the buffs online, if he was only able to deal 1,000 or 2,000 to the Howlet, then it still would have been very favorable for Mao. So it's really hard to tell without seeing the other side of all of that.
GG to both players, and congratulations to Mao.
Yep, GG to both players.
Alright, next match, we have Greatestness against EreshMelt. So on Greatestness side, we got the Tyrell, Valet, and A2. Surprising. And next we got Bunny Resnick, Rysel, and Mia. So let's check this out.
Like Numero alluded to, not really much I need to say about Greatestness team. Pretty standard, very strong, very, very, very powerful. I mean, like I said, not really much else to say. I'm expecting a lot of fireworks from Greatestness side. But over on EreshMelt's side, a little bit more different. Bunny Resnick making an appearance once again, but the Rysel full dagger team, I don't get to see much of Rysel ever. Bunny Resnick also, I'd say, on the same boat. Even though EreshMelt's used him quite a bit, I would say Bunny Resnick's been pretty... I don't get to see her that often, and she's been putting on quite a bit of work. So I'm excited to see what comes out here. Heroic Blessing, Berserk, and Immobilize Nullify with some slash up also. Not a TMR I normally see much. When I saw Heroic Blessing, I had to read what the buffs did because I'm not used to seeing that one. But I guess expecting the Berserk over on Greatestness side. So the units are moving forward, still not engaging, so plenty of time to get buffs off. Which, once again, I don't know much about Resol, but she's got her Shell and Protect buff off, which seems pretty important for this matchup. So the fact that she was just now able to use that one means that having that time to buff seems pretty important for EreshMelt's side. One thing, here comes the first amount of damage, but one thing I'm looking to see is if the accuracy is there. A2 is a very accurate unit, but I want to see if
they got the Valade, so they all got the 60 more accuracy. So of course they have the accuracy, and also they have the ice resistance. So it's really not looking good so far for EreshMelt. So next we got A2, so going for Renman and killing that bunny resistance. She was supposed to be the main carrier of that team, and she's already out. So unfortunately, I think that's it. It's already over. So next we got Rysol, so going forward. So she's using her LB. Let's see what she can do with that. I don't remember what it does though. I think it's on the slash resist down. Death pressing down and re-raise. Oh, blind on everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
So it reduces the accuracy by half. So let's see if it will have an impact in the end, because A2 is buff with accuracy and she already has an accuracy up move. So alright, so a moment of truth. So we got A2 going next, dismantle and killing the Rysol in one go.
Man, as I said in the beginning, that team is just so good. It's really good, and something I didn't point out was the elemental advantage was also there. Even though Bunny Resnick is very, very strong and one of the top carries over on EreshMelt's side, Resol is also very, very strong, and having one of the main carries over on EreshMelt's side be elementally disadvantaged against the other one, and having the wind resistance buff up from Valade, it was very, very, very difficult to overcome that one. And just having the accuracy, because that's when one of the main ways that dagger team is going to be able to survive is being able to evade. So if the accuracy is there, then the survivability just takes a complete nosedive. So it was a hard one to climb up. Like I said, the blind gave a little bit of hope, but A2 is an accurate unit, and Valade buffing the accuracy meant that she still was able to hit pretty easily.
Yeah, Weakestness haven't used all his units so far, so maybe that EreshMelt took a gamble, praying that he won't use A2 and Valade again. Unfortunately, I talked to Weakestness before the match, and he told me, yeah, I got cold feet, so I use A2 again.
Literally cold feet because the map is snow, but
absolutely. And he wanted to keep his perfect record to face me with it, so we could have a giant clash near the end of this season. So yeah, I'm going to face him next week, so we both have a 7-0 record.
Of course, there's always the upsets that can always happen as well, so yep.
Oh yeah. Last season I was 8-0, and then at the very last game, of course, it had to be Maechen that removed me the displeasure. So
I was gonna say your nemesis, but he's everyone's nemesis.
Yeah, he's everyone's nemesis.
Not even in this league, and we're still bringing him up.
Yeah, he has won the last Kiwi Cup for Friday Night Fight. So yeah, it's very terrifying. Alright, so GG to both players, and congratulations to Weakestness, I guess.
GG to both players.
Alright, so on the last match for this week, we got Maughanman against Chisei. So on Maughanman's side, we got Young Olde, Surges, and Ramada. On Chisei's side, we got Muraga, Renoa, and Hope. Alright, so Chisei, what was your train of thought?
Yep, so going into the match, if you look at Maughanman's roster, it's very water and earth heavy, so the main threats I was afraid of was water, so I built tons of water resistance going into this match, trying to, especially on my Muraga, trying to get in the front line to take some of that damage. And to my surprise and horror, he brought Elda, which was not a unit that, it's a unit I expected, but I was really hoping he wouldn't bring. So
yeah,
I really wanted to bring Hope this week. I love Hope. I love trying to show him off and get him to do some good work. So, and Renoa was actually the last unit I haven't used yet. So I wanted to try and field her, and I felt like this team was the perfect team to do that. So starting off, I got the Oceanic Protection buff, getting the water resist and unit resist up. And then I have Renoa getting haste on the entire team. That's the only buff I have for her, so that way she won't be stuck in the back line. So after this, she should be able to move forward and deal damage. I see Elda using the Despair TMR to lower Bravery, which Thankfully, for my units are mostly faith-based, so the damage is not going to be that bad, but we'll definitely neuter some of the Maraga damage if he gets in there.
Why?
And yeah.
Probably because of the spacing. I mean, this attack is probably 8-0. Next we got Muraga. What is he going to do? The spacing is kind of weird. Vampiric Reaper, okay, he had a chance to hit them both, but really light damage. So we already have the Night Blessing coming from Rinoa. Could be good though. Next we got, Muraga again. It's really fast. Let's see. Mad Tyrant. Oh, and got a slow on the Ramadas, which is really good. Next we got Young Old Day. So Lion's Drain on the Muraga still really nice. He still has 100 AP though, this Young Old Day, so it's not good on that front. Next we got Hope, channeling something, probably only... Oh, for both. About 4k on each, which is kind of good. Does Ramada have the range to hit this Muraga this time? Yes. Earth and Glory, no slow, but about 3k on that Muraga, which is a good chunk on damage. Alright, Surges, obliterate, nearly 3k still on the Muraga, is at Death's Door currently. Now we got Apocalypse, so this is the LB of Renoa. Let's see the level of damage. Killing the Surges and dealing 1 damage on that Young Old Day. Okay, so that is really crazy. We don't like to see that. Only 600 attack from that Muraga, that Ramada. Next we got the Young Old Day. Finishing up that Muraga, he didn't add Discourage. Next we got Renoa and Hope. They both will be casting something. Maddening Verse, not killing that Ramada yet. And next we got Hope. Does he have an AoE? So Eperaga. And still no... both units, so few damage on that Young Old Day. He really prepped hard against magic, so they got a 1-2 combo again, but this time they have to kill him right now, otherwise they'd be gone on. Next, Young Old Day's turn. Renoa casting something. Maddening Verse again, only 1000 attack, and not even 2000. They get to lap both though. Okay, wow. Okay, so last resort we got Hope's LB. It's too bad that magic attack can chain though, but there's still the the elemental chain on himself. Alright, so we get Reno on the next. I doubt that she'll do 10,000 damage on that.
See, this is where you're wrong. I maxed out my evocation boards for sirens. That way she's going to.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, he really read you hard.
Oh, absolutely.
I knew he was good against magic, but not at this point.
Yeah, after the match, he told me that he definitely was very high in magic res, but in addition to that, I think he said he was at around like 60 unit res and 70 AoE res. So without like these new units that can crush AoE res and unit res, it was a very, like, to be able to do more than 1,000 damage, I was going to need some crazy amounts of magic to be able to make that sort of happen. And I'm not talking about the in-game magic, I'm talking real life witchcraft magic to be able to deal some damage to that Elder.
Yeah, I guess that we can skip the key of the match, we all know it. That's really unfortunate because honestly your team was really impressive, very well built, all the turns, the tuning, everything was so damn perfect, the speed was there, they could chain, it was really entertaining and fun to see, but man, the damage was not there at all.
Yeah, that was actually part of the issue too with the team building. Like, it wouldn't have mattered, especially with only 8,000 health. Still 8,000 health on the Elda, but I did run Alexandrite rings on both Renoa and Hope because he does have the option to go evasive with the Laura Croft and the Amethyst, which he pulled out in the first week. So I was like, okay, I didn't want to get cheesed out by that because Renoa and Hope aren't the most accurate units, so I had to help them out a little bit. That definitely hurt my damage a little bit, but once again, I don't think it would have been enough to make up for that 8,000 health he still had. Yeah, it was rough. Elda's one of those units that's just very, very hard to overcome.
Yeah, I'll still give you 3 standing points only for the showcase.
Perfect. Hey, I better get my 1 standing point for Renoa now. I got all my units fielded.
Alright, so 4 points, it's not favoritism.
There we go.
Alright, so GG to both players and congratulations to Maughanman.
Yep, congrats Maughanman. Great fight.
Alright, this concludes this week. Unfortunately, Kayson and Orange didn't have time to do their matches before Orange's vacation, so I wish him a great vacation in Japan. If you see this, Orange, don't worry, you can do your matches at the end of the season. It's no biggie. Enjoy your vacation, and that's it. You'll just be super stressed out at the last week with the 3 matches to do. Alright, so for the actual standings, I'm still first with 8 points, so a 7-0 record and an extra point. After that, we got Weakestness with 7 points, so he still has his 7-0 record. And for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, we got Kayson, Maechen, and Sushi, respectively, with 4 points. For the 6th place, currently we have Chisei. So he went back into the playoffs portrait with 3 points. So he bumped up probably because of the number of kill. Okay, no, we actually have an extreme tie between Chisei and Maou, which is really funny. The randomness put Chisei in the 6th place. You played against Maou, right?
Yes, I've already played against Maou.
He beat you?
Yes.
Okay, so he's in 6th place.
Yes.
So don't mind the ranking. Alright, after that we got Orange and Maughanman both with 2 points. And then we got EreshMelt with 1 point. Unfortunately for EreshMelt, oh no, he can still make the playoff technically.
Still can make it. There's still 2 weeks left, so if he wins both of his matches, and me, Maou, Orange, and Maughanman all lose our matches, then yeah, he can definitely still beat us there. And he still hasn't got his extra standings point yet either. So
yeah, so the blind division is still extremely tight. All right.
Yes. And just to mention, like you said, the standings, even though right now Maou is in that 6th playoff spot, it does not take into account the match between Orange and Kayson. So if Orange does win his match, I don't think he can use all of his units this week, but he will at least be in the 3 points range as well. So he might actually take that 6th playoff spot with the win this week.
All right, we'll have to check that out next week. Thank you everyone for watching again, and I really hope that you're going to stick with us and watch the next video.
Of course.
Of course they will.
Of course they will. They must.
Why not? All right, have a good night or day, whatever when you watch this video. Bye-bye.